Late yesterday, I received this envelope by priority mail. It's from Justin Trudeau's elections commissioner. In it was 2 letters. I have been convicted of 2 counts of breaking the law, and I've been fined a whopping $3,000 specifically for comparing Justin Trudeau to Tony Soprano and for publishing a book that compares them. It's this book, which was the #1 Amazon bestseller in Canada, The Libranos, What the Media Won't Tell You About Justin Trudeau's Corruption. They convicted me under sections 352 and 353 of the Elections Act. Check this out from the conviction letters. It's actually the largest part of their rationale. I'm guilty, they say, because, quote, the book's title reference to Libranos, which was clearly designed to create an association between the name of a registered party and The Sopranos, a mafia-themed television show, and to link the party to corruption. They also say the drawing on the cover is an illegal election activity. It's based on the original poster for the TV show The Sopranos. They say that's illegal because it's too mean. Quote, drawings of the show's characters were replaced with drawings of the leader and other public figures of the party, unquote. The police say that's against the law, so I have to pay $3,000 in fines. I know you find this hard to believe, so I've put a copy of the 2 letters online at saverebelnews.com. Go there and read them for yourself. Now, these convictions and fines came as a surprise to me because the trial was done in secret. I was not invited to the trial. I did not even know about it. I was not allowed to send a lawyer to the trial because I didn't know about it either. This is nuts. I knew they were hunting me because they interrogated me a year ago, but I really just assumed they had dropped the whole thing because it was so crazy. Remember this, before the pandemic, last year I was summoned to Elections Canada, their headquarters, and 2 30-year veterans of the RCMP, officers who used to work on terrorism cases and drug cases and money laundering, things like that. They interrogated me for an hour. Now, I knew it was a setup, so I wore a hidden camera, and I turned the tables on them. Remember this? I've got a question for you. I've answered a few of your questions now. Have you investigated any of the other authors who published books about Trudeau at the exact same time as me? Have you investigated John Iveson's book or Aaron Wary's book?
There's over 24 books that were published around that period.
You haven't answered my question. Have you investigated John Ivison or Aaron Wary's books?
I haven't.
Have you?
I have.
Yeah. Is anyone in your office investigating any other books about Justin Trudeau or just the book that's critical of him? No.
Today we're here about Rebel News Network Limited.
Just last week, Trudeau's government told the Globe and Mail they intend to set up an entire new government bureaucracy in charge of censorship, and obviously their first target is Rebel News. They really aren't hiding it anymore. I'm going to appeal these illegal convictions, and I'm going to help other journalists, even though most other journalists these days are fine with censoring conservatives and are fine with cancel culture. I'm going to challenge the constitutionality of this entire law so that no other author will ever be interrogated by police and convicted in a secret trial and fined $3,000 for criticizing a politician of any stripe. That constitutional challenge is going to cost me a lot more than $3,000. There's no way a constitutional challenge against the government will cost less than $100,000, but I'd rather spend $100,000 fighting for freedom than $3,000 paying off a bully like Trudeau. If you can help me, please go to saverebelnews.com, read the conviction letters for yourself, and please chip into our legal defense fund. I hope we win, and if we lose, and we'll appeal, and if we lose again, I have to tell you now, I simply will not pay. I just will not pay. The law does give Trudeau the power to seize our assets if I don't pay, to take our computers or to raid our bank account, or even, I guess, take our books in satisfaction of their fine. Do you doubt Trudeau would actually do that? He'd probably want to take the camera I'm talking in right now. I mean, what would Tony Soprano do to me? Censorship isn't coming. Censorship is already here. We at Rebel News are the canary in the coal mine. If we don't fight back now, you could be next.
Here was reaction. Fox News contributor Dan Bongino. And you have a small little tiny piece of parlor. And I talked to some of the guys you work with. They're great guys. And now I see they're attacking you every way imaginable. Is the FBI now investigating you? It's on Drudge tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, is this even America anymore? I don't even, like I said, I haven't had I talk to you sometimes kind of offline and stuff, but I haven't had a sound good night's sleep in probably 3 weeks now. Listen, I know liberals probably think, because they love to inflict pain and, they're totalitarian imposed, they love to destroy people. They probably enjoy that. They're probably laughing, I can imagine right now. But I wake up every morning and I don't even look for good news. I just look for less bad news. We had a representative today, Carolyn Maloney, who's the chair of a very powerful committee. A congressional representative suggests to the FBI director that he investigate Parler. Did you hear the reasons why? Tell me we still live in America after this one, please, or a free America. This is the leftist America, which they want to turn into a Marxist superstate. But they wanted us investigated because one of our executives' wives happened to be born outside of the country. Now, I know you're waiting for a punchline. No, that's it. So let me get this straight.
I'm not waiting for a punchline. I want to find a cry room and say this can't happen.
That actually happened. And by the way, her family, the executive's wife's family, happens to be Muslim and lives in a region outside of Russia and is dirt poor. Actually, one of my partners sent me a picture of the outhouse outside their house. So the Democrat slimeball totalitarian losers and this loser Maloney decides she wants the FBI to investigate our company because the executive married a woman whose family is really, really poor and happens to reside in Russia. She presents no evidence whatsoever. Isn't that xenophobic and Islamophobic? I thought the left told us that. And their second reason is even more hilarious. Because after they got us, the left, deplatformed from just about every company in the United States, we had to go to a multinational company to protect our website from being hacked. So they want the FBI to investigate us. And
time and space is a lonely place. There's no sound, just a heart that pounds. Life's unknown. Where's the way back home? In my mind is a silent cry. What you feel, what you know. You're not in control. If you just let it go, there's a peace you'll know.
Total Control 871. I'm going to see if I can take another crack at Biden's Venetian waltz. Ezra Levant is very much indeed correct. That is a canary in the coal mine. However, America has its own canaries in the coal mine right now. When I talk about Joe Biden's Venetian waltz, what I'm trying to say is that it is my fervent hope and belief that Joe Biden will use whatever kind of political clout he may have or have left to start packing up all of this fake pandemic shit and start getting it out the door. As I was putting together some sort of comparative analogy in my mind, yes, definitely. What You Feel by Chris Levy. I'm not entirely sure if the song was written exclusively for the Doomsday episode of Smallville. Um, I don't know. I think I tried to find out, but I just couldn't find out. Basically, the song was written for Davis Bloom. It's a reimagined version of Doomsday. For those of you who may or may not know, Doomsday is basically a Kryptonian version of the Incredible Hulk. However, the Smallville version, it's reimagined. It is a man. As a matter of fact, Davis Bloom, who is a Kryptonian test tube for brevity purposes, we'll just call him a Kryptonian test tube baby, and he wants to be a good man. As a matter of fact, he's taken up a career as a first responder, as a paramedic. He works on an ambulance, and he wants to help people. He wants to save people. However, Davis Bloom is constantly fighting the monster within. I will link our song as well as Ezra's BitChute episode. I'll link the Fox News stuff down below as well. I've got a clipboard now. I used to didn't, but I do now. Anyway, what I found so very interesting about Chris Levy's song is the musical arrangement. It starts off, I wanted to capture maybe some more of the beginning, but I'm trying to be as brief as I could. It kind of goes ting, 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 ting. It's like a winding of a music box, or perhaps even a jack in the box. And of course, we all know what happens to a jack in the box when you finally wind it too many times or too tight, or perhaps a watch, if that's a comparative, a metaphor that you want to use. The musical arrangement, it fits the character that it's written for so very well. It's all winding up tighter and tighter and tighter, and I swear to God, that is exactly what is happening with America right now. Half of America is being wound up tighter, and you know what? If you really want to know, I think 3/4 of America, maybe more, maybe 80% of America is being wound up extremely tight. Even pro-lockdown people have had it up to here. There is, although it's silly to say, but yes, a great many people voted for Biden, hoping that it will end the lockdown. I wouldn't be surprised if conservative Republicans voted for Biden, hoping it will sate the perpetrators of the fake pandemic. And at this point, I too am hoping that their agenda has been sated, near sated, hence my analogy of a Venetian waltz. I'm willing to play the fool if it means it will bring this to an end without violence. I really, really want this to end without violence. And the more draconian the government gets, the less likely this will end without violence. I have no idea the exact financial nature of Ezra Levant and Rebel News. I don't know how much money they're worth. The point. When you start seizing people's assets, because they railed against your unlawful lockdown. Okay? Lockdowns that were given unholy birth to with no scientific merit. Okay? Doctors, PhDs, people who were medically accredited, who spoke out against it, they were attacked and discredited. Do you understand what's happening? Anybody that speaks out against the sanction narrative will be attacked. Not everybody has $100,000 to fight a $3,000 fine. The objective here. This is, as you guys know, I continue my analysis of psychological models. I am not surprised that the arrests are going to be avoided by the government if at all possible. What they will do is fine you into oblivion, and when you refuse to pay, they're going to do exactly as Ezra Levant said or suggested that they would do.
Well, the governor of New Jersey is very determined to crack down on crime. Not murders and rapes, but anyone who criticizes the governor of New Jersey on Fox News. And that would include the people who run the Attila's gym. The owners of that gym have refused to stay closed this year. In November, we spoke to the owner, Ian Smith.
So Frank and I are currently being fined personally. Governor Murphy has attempted to pierce the LLC. He has fined us $15,497.76 per day. That fine started as per day, yes.
Well, the Attila's gym has not paid those fines, but the state didn't wait around to litigate or adjudicate. They just took $170,000 from the gym's bank account, because they can do that because they're the state. They don't have to ask permission. So we asked the state of New Jersey about this. They gave us this statement, quote, the state previously obtained a judgment from the court in the amount of $134,463.08, which the state intended to collect. Apparently the funds were were frozen as a result of a bank levy having been issued due to the state's collection efforts, which is part of the enforcement of a judicial order. Okay, keep in mind, that all sounds very legal. If you stop paying your rent, how long does it take you to get evicted from your apartment? Probably New Jersey, a year or two? This happened like that. They targeted these people. Ian Smith is one of them. He's the owner of the gym. He joins us tonight. Ian, thank you for coming on. I'm sorry about this.
Thank you for having me, Tucker.
Has the murder rate dramatically declined in, say, Camden? I mean, it seems like the state is focusing an awful lot of resources on crushing.
I think it's actually higher, actually.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I'll stop ranting. Oh, tell us what the state of affairs is tonight.
So as of yesterday morning, my partner and I checked the bank statement in the morning, and we had no money in our bank account. The state emptied out every single dollar that we have. This is in the middle of an appeals process and ongoing litigation in the matter of the fines and several other matters regarding the state, including a lawsuit against Governor Murphy and Judith Persicelli herself. This is, as simple as I can put it, this is an interference with our right to counsel. This money in our bank account does not come from memberships. We have not charged our members since April 1st, since we originally shut down. This is donations and this is t-shirt sales that we have used to pay our bills and to fight our legal battles. And it is a clear and it is a blatant violation of our constitutional rights and our ability to defend ourselves in the court of law.
How long do you think they'll allow cryptocurrency to exist? Sorry, just a thought. Probably not too long. If they can't seize it from you.
No, they can't. And that's actually one of the most frequent recommendations for people who want to continue to donate is to set up a crypto account.
Yes, it is getting darker. Very, very dark. Secret trials, where you're not told about them. Judgments entered to wipe away your funds set aside for legal counsel. These are some of the most sacred tenets of American freedom. And the New World Order, all they need but do is cry pandemic, and suddenly it's all justified. Again, I hope and pray that Mr. Biden is starting the necessary procedures to set into motion the end of this fake pandemic. Okay? Hopefully, Mr. Fauci is starting to get the necessary language together. As the weeks turn into months, whatever the vaccination rate may be, okay? I want you to channel your inner, I believe it's Bob McDivitt. McDivitt's the last name, I think it's Bob. President, Local 54, here in South Jersey. President of the Labor Union, Local 54, does all the casinos. And back in 2000, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, something like that, they had a strike. They asked for the usual stuff. And after X amount of weeks, their strike failed miserably and their workers came back. And I distinctly remember a paid radio advertisement being put out, basic conditioning, brainwashing to the members of the union. The language said something to the effect of, "We didn't need it. We were asking for it, but we didn't need it. We got what really counts," which was nothing. But my point in referencing that is that necessary steps were taken to start the mental conditioning of their members. You understand? Mr. Biden, Mr. Fauci, start taking the necessary steps to start conditioning your cult members into accepting the end of the fake pandemic. Okay? And end to masking. Whatever science you want to use, that's fine. You know? I feel like Matt Damon, Good Shepherd. Hey, if you want me to be, what is it, Scarlett O'Hara on the stage, it's a musical number, they're cross-dressing, what the hell? Why not? I'll play the fool, Mr. Biden. I'll play along. Oh, excuse me. I'll play along, Mr. President. Okay? Just end this fucking pandemic and do it now. Because I'm telling you, America will not survive. As you start emptying bank accounts and dumping people out onto the street, because who are we kidding? That's what's going to happen. Bank accounts emptied, vehicles towed away, property seized, liens placed against mortgages, homes. Okay? Ding, 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 fucking ding! Huh? You keep on, Mr. Biden. You can only push it so far. In regard to this stimulus business, okay? Hey, I've already gone window shopping. There's a few things I could definitely use $1,400 for. Some medical things is what I really need. However, there's something that has me very fraught with fear, you know, as I continue to lose the light. No, I'm not going to turn the lamp on. Let the light go so that you can see how it's getting very dark in America. Okay? Let this be apropos, a great analogy for what I'm talking about. All right? I want to tell you a story. My Aunt Raleigh, she had a 91 Chevy Cavalier. She bought it new. Okay? And whenever she had an arrangement with a local mechanic in Pleasantville, a credit system, if you will, because she wouldn't always have the money on hand to get certain services and things done. The long and short of it, though, after about 5 or 6 years, she paid less and less to the point where she had such a balance and the car got to be so old and overused. Okay. The car was just run down so bad, and it got to the point where she really had no choice but to just simply sign over the title. My Aunt Raleigh had to sign over the title to her car, okay, because she couldn't pay her bill. She couldn't settle her debt. I would love $1,400 from the U.S. Treasury, but I am very, very fearful of what is happening to America. Are we going to get to a point where we have to give the keys to America to China? The Arabs? How about Russia, of all people? It's not a printing press, the U.S. Mint. Okay? You can't just simply crank out endless money just because. I honestly want to know, are the Democrats literally trying to bankrupt America?
Get what you fucking deserve!
Good night. And always remember, that's...